So hello everyone, in the last class we have started the chapter that is shear bond and development length in limit state method, and previous class this particular numerical we have started, but some portion is remaining, so we will complete the part. So let us start. Okay, a rectangular beam of size 230 mm width and 450 mm effective depth is reinforced with 4 numbers of bars of 20 mm diameter. So that means we have a cross sectional area of a beam. So consider this is the section of a beam, and the width here that is given 230 mm and the effective depth. So consider here these are the reinforcement. So I have make here 4 numbers of bar because here it is given, here we have 4 numbers of bar. Okay, and each are having 20 mm diameter. So diameter of the each bar is 20 mm dia. Okay, and the effective depth, that means from the center this particular distance is denoted by d, and the value of d is 450 mm. Okay, and it is denoted by b, the width. Now what are the other details given? So after that, determine the vertical shear reinforcement. So that means definitely we are going to provide the vertical shear reinforcement here. Okay, now to provide the vertical shear reinforcement, whether the shear reinforcement is needed or not, that condition we need to check from IS 456 2000. Okay, so we will see the code and check whether the shear reinforcement is needed or not. Definitely they will need it because here it is given directly to determine the value, but though we will, but then also, but still we will check. Okay, and so what is the condition? That means the determine the vertical shear reinforcement to resist the factored shear force of 70 kilonewton and 250. So this 70 part we have already determined in the previous class. So today we will consider the value, that is 250 kilonewton. Okay, so let's start. So as you already know, to check whether the vertical shear reinforcement is needed or not, we need to see 3 separate values: the tau v value, the tau c value, and the tau c max value also. Okay, so to determine the value of tau v, what is the formula? The formula, or you can say the equation, that is given in IS 456 2000, that is Vu by Vd. Okay, so definitely I will show you this formula in code also. So let's check in the code. So this is the code IS 456 2000, and here yes, here you can see in clause number 40.1 under limit state of collapse shear, the nominal shear stress, that means the tau v, as per clause number 40.1, the nominal shear stress in beams of uniform depth. As per our problem, it is definitely uniform depth. If it is not uniform depth, then we have several cross section, that means the cross sectional area of the beam is not same for all over the section. Okay, in our case it is, we consider this to be a uniform depth. Okay, if it is not uniform depth, then we will consider this formula, that means beams with varying depth. So let us consider this one. So tau v equals to Vu by Bd. So what is Vu? Vu is the shear force due to design loads, B is the breadth of the member, and D is the effective depth. So in our problem we know each and every value, that is Vu is known, B and D is also known. So let's determine the value of tau v. So we can write tau v equals to Vu by Vd, and where Vu is the factored shear force, and factored shear force, the value of the factored shear force we are considering here is 250 kilonewton. So we are multiplying with 1000 to make it in newton, and B is 230 and D is 450. So whatever the value that we get, that is in newton per millimeter square, right? Newton per millimeter square. So what will be the value? Let's determine. That is 250 into 1000 by 230 into 450. So this is 2.41. Okay, 2.41 newton per millimeter square. So the value of tau v that we have determined. Now the next thing what we need to determine, that is tau c. Now from where we can get the value of tau c? Now this tau c value we need to consider the table 19. Okay, that is just after this clause, that is where it is given tau v equals to v by bd. Table 19 in IS 456 2000. So let's jump to the table 19. So just after this page we have this table 19. So from table 19 we need to determine the tau c, that is given in newton per millimeter square. Now these all values are the values of tau c, but yeah, you can see the value in this particular column is the corresponding value of the particular grade of concrete. So here it is M15, here it is M20, here it is M25. Now in our case, I forget to mention here, it is M20 grade concrete and Fe 415 steel. Previous day I have mentioned it. Okay, so it is M20 grade concrete and Fe 415 grade of steel. So yes, so we will consider this particular column. Okay, now in this column, now we have confirmed that we need to consider this column, but we have not still determined the percentage of steel. Okay, so to determine the tau c, we need two values. Which one? The first one is the grade, that means here it is M20. Okay, now another one is the percentage of steel. Now here what is the percentage of steel that we need to determine? So let's determine the percentage of steel. So it is very much simple. Percentage of steel, that means first we need to determine the AST. Okay, so what is the value of AST? Look, here it is given, we have 4 numbers of bars having, each are having 20 mm diameter. So the value of AST will be 4 into simple cross sectional area of a single bar. So cross sectional area of a single bar is pi by 4 into 20 square. So 4 into pi by 4 into 20 square. Right? So 4 deducted, you just make the calculation, that is 3.14 into 400. So it will be 1256. Millimeter square. Okay, so this is the value of the AST, but here we need to determine the percentage of steel. So what is the formula of percentage of steel? That is AST by BD into 100, that we have already used previously. Here it is also given 100 into AST by BD. Okay, so let's determine the value. So AST is 1256 and the B value is 230 and the D value is 450. Now if you solve this, that is 1256 by 230 by 450. Now yes, So you need to multiply it with a 100 also. So I just forget that. So multiply it with 100. So that is 1.21 percentage. Okay. So this is the value of percentage of steel. So we have determined the AST, we have determined the percentage of steel, and we also know the grade of concrete. Now we can determine the tau C value, right? So let's determine. So our percentage of steel, that is in between these two values, that is 1.21. So we will make the interpolation by considering these two values, that means 1.00 and 1.25, and the corresponding value of these two is 0.62 and 0.67. So let's write this here. So percentage of steel for 1%, the corresponding value of tau C is how much? 0.62, and for 1.25 the corresponding value is 0.67. So we will need to determine the corresponding value of 1.21. So what is the corresponding value of 1.21? Very simple. Look, I am directly applying the rule, that is (0.67) minus 0.62 by 1.25 minus 1.00 into, here it is 1.21 minus 1.00 plus 0.62. Look, previously I have already told why this particular value. This is actually the corresponding value of 1.21 percentage of steel. How we get? Actually, look, this is actually nothing but the difference of this tau C value. This is actually the difference of the percentage of steel. So for this much difference of percentage of steel, we have this much difference of tau C. Just simply unitary method. For one, this one, okay, for one we have this particular value, and for 1.21 minus 1. So 1.21 minus 1 means what? That is actually 0.21 percentage. So for 0.21 percentage, the corresponding value of tau C is up to this one. Okay. So for 0.21 percentage of steel, the tau C value is only the portion that is in third bracket. So now we need to determine the corresponding value of 1.21. So 1.21 means what? This is 1 plus 0.21. So for 0.21, corresponding value of this 0.21 is up to this one. That is the tau C value of corresponding value of 0.21. Now we know the corresponding value of 1.0, that is 0.62. So that is why I have added this value, that is 0.62. So finally you get the corresponding value of 1.21, that is, you just make the calculation. Okay, I will show you. That is 0.67 minus 0.62 by 0.25 into 0.21 plus 0.62. So ultimately we get the value, that is 0.662. 0.662. So this is the exact method that how we can determine the value of this tau C, and the unit of this is Newton per millimeter square, right? This is Newton per millimeter square. So we have determined the value of tau C, and we also determine the value of tau V. Now very important thing, we need to check some clause. Which clauses? Let's go here. Look, first we check this one, 40.3. So as per clause number 40.3 IS 456/2000, we need to check for whether the minimum shear reinforcement is needed or not. Actually this condition is satisfied when the shear reinforcement is not necessary. Then also we need to provide the minimum shear reinforcement, okay. And the condition is when tau v is less than tau c. So when the tau v is less than tau c, when this condition satisfied, we need to go for clause number 40.3. So when this tau v is less than tau c given in table 19 that we have already determined, minimum shear reinforcement shall be provided in accordance with 26.5.1.6. So if this condition satisfied, then we need to go for this particular clause, okay. Or before coming to that, we will also see the another case, that means this one 40.4, when tau v exceeds tau c. Now in this case the condition says when the tau v is greater than tau c given in table 19, then shear reinforcement shall be provided in any of the forms. That means either by vertical stirrup or by bent up bar along with stirrup, or by this one inclined stirrup. Now we will just check that whether this in our problem whether this condition is correct or this condition is correct. If this correct, then we will go for 26.5.16, and if this one is correct, then we will go either any of these three forms, okay. Then we will provide the shear reinforcement as per the either A, B or C, any three of the or if this condition satisfied, that is tau v greater than tau c, then we will provide the shear reinforcement as per clause number 40.4. So let's check whether the tau v is less than tau c or whether tau v is greater than tau c. So in our case the tau v value is 2.41 Newton per millimeter square, and tau c value, that is my design shear strength, and this is the nominal shear stress, that is 0.662 Newton per millimeter square. So in our case tau v is greater than tau c, right? That means this particular condition satisfied. So if this satisfied, that means this one is not satisfied in our case, right? So we are not considering this part. We will see this one, that means clause number 40.4. So if tau v exceeds the tau c given in table 19, shear reinforcement shall be provided in any of the following forms. So what is the forms? Look here. Here it is given, if that condition satisfied, that means tau v is greater than tau c, then we need to see what is the balanced shear force. So balanced shear force is given by VUS, and the formula is, that means the equation, that is VU minus tau c Vd. So balanced shear force that is given by VUS, that is equals to VU minus tau c Vd. Okay, so tau c, that is the actual design shear stress that we have determined from table 19. B is the width of the section, that means if this is the beam, this is the B, and this one is the D. Okay, so this data we already have in our problem. So let's determine the balanced shear force. Okay, I am just removing these parts. So balanced shear force. So what is the value of the balanced shear force? That is given by VUS. This is the balanced shear force, equals to VU minus tau c Vd. Okay, so you have all the values, that is VU. What is the value of VU? Currently we are considering 250 kilonewtons. So 250 kilonewtons, I am making in Newton, multiply with 1000, and tau c, what is the value of tau c that we have determined? That is 0.662. So 0.662 into Vd. B is 230 and D is 450. So 230 into 450, and ultimately the value of VUS that you get, that is let's determine 250 minus 0.662 into 230 into 450. So yes, you will get 181.483, that is in kilonewton. So this is in Newton actually. So you can write 181.483 in kilonewton. So 181.483, that is in kilonewton. Okay, so I am directly converting the value, that is in kilonewton. So you get this value, that is the balance. So this is the value of the balance shear force. So this is the value of the balance shear force, that is denoted by the VUS, right? Now after determination of this balance shear force, what you need to do is go to the code, and this is the final formula, that is for vertical stirrup, because as per our question here you can see determine the vertical shear reinforcement. So that is why we will consider that particular formula, that is VUS equals to this one 0.87 Fy ASBD by SB, where VUS that we have just determined, that is 181.483 kilonewton. Fy is the grade of the steel, that is 415. ASB is the very important thing. ASB is the actually total cross sectional area of stirrup legs or benta bars within a distance SB. So this SB that we need to determine, and ASB if we consider, if we provide two leg stirrup, suppose we are providing two leg stirrup having 10 mm diameter. Okay, so what will be the value of this ASB? Simple, I am just making over here. In ASB, if we provide two leg 10 mm dia bar, so the value of ASB equals to 2 into this is this 2, okay, and pi by 4 cross sectional area of 10 mm dia bar. Very simple. So this is actually the ASB value. So what will be the ASB value? If you just determine, it will be 3.14 by 4 into 100 into 2. So that is 157 mm square. That is actually the value of ASB. Okay, now in this equation you got the value of ASB, and the D value is also known, that is the effective depth, and SB just we need to determine, that is the spacing. So yeah, if you use this formula we can determine the spacing actually. Okay, so let's put this equation and we just put all the values and let's determine the value of ASB. So let's remove this part. So what is the equation? That is ASB equals to, sorry, what is the equation? So VUS equals to 0.87 Fy ASB D by SB, right? So ASB that we have already determined, I just removed that, that is 181.483 kilonewton that we have just determined. So we will put the value 181.483, that is in kilonewton, so multiply it with a 1000 equals to 0.87 into Fy. Fy is 415. ASB just we have determined, that is 157, and D is 450 by SB. So except the value of this ASB, that means the spacing, all the value is given over here, right? So if you solve this, you will get the value of SB. Let's check. That is 0.87 into 415 into 157 into 450 divided by 181,483. It is 140.554. 140.554 mm. This is actually the spacing. Now there are some clauses, that means what is the maximum value of spacing that we can provide. So as per the clause, the maximum value of spacing that we can provide, that is the minimum of these three values. Okay, so first value is the SB that we actually get after calculation. The second SB max value is 0.75D, that means 0.75 into 450. Here you can see this is 450, so it is near about 337.5 mm. And another third one, this is actually 2 number, and the third one is 300 mm. So the maximum value that we can provide, that is the minimum of these three, this one, and this one. So what is the minimum of these three? 300, 337 or 140. This is the minimum value. So that is why the maximum value that we can provide, that is 140.554. So what is the solution that we get? That is provide two leg. Definitely we have considered two leg stirrup, right? Two leg 10 mm dia at the rate, the spacing should be not the limiting condition. I am not giving the value that is exactly same one, so I am taking some lower value compared to this, that is round of figure 140 mm center to center. Okay, this is actually the maximum value that we can consider. So I am considering lesser value compared to this, so that is 140, that is a round of figure, so that is why I have considered this one. Okay, so in this way you can solve this kind of problem, and thank you.